I'm Mr. Skinner, I'm your teacher, I'm not your best friend. Teachers and students are not supposed to be friends. You're going to work from bell to bell in here every single day of the school year. There will be no free days. You're not going to anybody else's room during this class. You're going to be in here. If you forget something somewhere else, you cannot leave to go get it. So keep track of your stuff. No phones until the last 5 minutes so that you can photograph homework. Do not have your phone on your desk. Don't have the sound turned on. It is to be away, under the desk, off your lap, in a book bag somewhere. Don't have it out. If you choose to use your phone when you're not supposed to, then you're going to lose your phone for an entire 24 hours. It goes to me. Assigned seats. Everybody is where they're supposed to be. You must bring your own paper and pencils. I'm not going to give you any. The only paper I'm going to give you is in that orange tub back there that you have to pick up. Speaking of the orange tub, right now everybody needs to go back there and get a pinch of paper and take it back to your desk. You're going to use these pieces of paper to write your answers down and deliver them to me. You're going to show your work for practice problems we do in here on notebook paper, but you're going to bring the answer up here to me. If the answer to a problem is 20, and this whole screen is your piece of paper, I'm not going to take that because you're writing too small. Write the answer largely with your last name largely at the bottom so that I can easily learn your names right off the bat. There are no textbooks in here. They're worthless. It'd be a waste of time for us to make you carry a textbook around because I can give you everything you need in here. Everybody must have a 3-ring binder. You have 8 weeks to get a 3-ring binder. They will be checked once every 9 weeks at the end. It must include work from your practice problems in here, homework, tests, quizzes, and after-test assignments, and everything else that we do. Tests. You only get one time to take each test, so make sure you pay attention, come to school, and come to intervention when you need to get help. Each test is worth 1,000 points. If you miss a test or a quiz because you are absent, then you will take it during 6th period. You must give me a 1-day notice when you are ready to take it. You can only take 1 per day. Sometimes we have folks that miss multiple weeks of school and then they want to make up everything. You can only do 1 per day. I'm not interested in personal stuff, so we're not going to joke and goof off and giggle and all that stuff. We're going to do math 45 minutes and then you go where you have to go next. It is time to go. The warm-up quiz will happen every day. It'll be the first thing you do when you come in, and it's going to start when the bell goes off. You're going to work the problem, write the answer on the little piece of paper with your last name largely, go to the front of the room when you get the answer, and circle through here. Show it to me when you come by. If I say your last name, that means you had it right. If I say no, then it was wrong. Here we go. There's the first problem. Work this out. Put the answer on the paper. With your last name, come through here and I'll tell you if you had it right. In case you forgot, you have to do multiplication before you do addition and subtraction. 9 times 2 has to go first, so that's going to be 18. So 3 plus 18 is going to be 21 for the answer. Don't forget to do multiplication before addition and subtraction. Try this one and bring it up here. You have to do multiplication and division before you do addition and subtraction. So 10 divided by 2 must go first. That gives you a 5. 18 minus 5 is 13. Try this one. All right. You have to do multiplication and division before you do addition and subtraction. So 15 divided by 3 is 5. 8 divided by 2 is 4. Now you add them together to get 9. Try this one. All right. Addition and subtraction does not come before multiplication and division. So you must do 6 divided by 2 to get 3. and 5 times 2 to get 10. And then you go back in order left to right. 12 plus 3 is 15, and minus 10 is going to be 5. Last warm-up problem. Try that. Here is the problem. You must do multiplication before everything else, addition and subtraction. So this is going to give you a 6. 11 minus 6 plus 4 is done left to right. That's going to be a 5, and then plus 4 is 9. Every day we will have a lottery. All you have to do is pick a number from 1 to 5. Write the number on your little piece of paper with your last name. Bring it up here and drop it on this desk. Make sure it's facing me, and then go back through. The winning number today is 3. Here's today's objective. There is no more graduation test. It is now called Common Core. It is not easy. The warm-up quiz will be the easiest thing you do in here every day. It's a review of basic math. The Common Core is much more difficult. The first objective is N.Q.1, and I know that makes no sense to you right now, but I'll be posting these around the room. What N.Q.1 is use units as a way to understand problems and to guide the solution of multi-step problems. Choose and interpret units consistently in formulas. Choose and interpret the scale and the origin in graphs and data displays. That's what we're going to do first. You don't have to write that down. I will have it around the room as the days go along. When we're finished with this lesson, you should be able to calculate unit conversions and recognize units given or needed to solve a problem. Lessons don't last just one day. This may go 2 or 3. So here's the first part today. Just a reminder, for this lesson you have to remember that 12 inches equals a foot, 3 feet equal 1 yard, and 36 inches are in 1 yard. If you know that, this will be an easy lesson. Here's the first example. John has 5 boards that are 36 inches long. Sally has 7 boards that are 20 inches long. Greg has 6 boards that are 15 inches long. If all of the boards are placed end to end, then what is the total length of all of the boards? So we're going to start up here at this spot. John has 5 of them that are 36 inches long. If I put all of John's boards end to end, how would I find out how long all of those boards are altogether, Clark?
36 inches in a yard. If you have 5, it's 5 yards.
That's right. What if I wanted to know how many inches were in all of them?
Multiply the 36 inches by the 5.
That's right. You're going to multiply 36 by the 5 and try to go through the problem such that you keep the same units all the way through. In some problems it's not possible, but in this one it is. So since we have inches in all of them, let's just keep it with inches to start with. So 36 times 5. What am I going to do to find the total length of all of Sally's boards? What am I going to do? 7 times 20 is all we need to do so far, because that'll keep it with inches. Now for Greg, what do I have to do to find the total length of all of his boards? You don't have to raise your hand, you can just say it. 6 times 15, right. 15 times 6. So that's how we're going to get the total length of each person's boards. Now, if you need a calculator, I have some that I can provide. You don't get to take them home. They have to stay here in the classroom. Some lessons you can't use a calculator on. This is one that you can. That's what we do to find the length for each person. Now what do we do to find the length of everybody all together? What should I do? Add all of these together. Yeah, 180, 140, and 90. So you can type those in. We're going to add 180, 140, and 90. If you add 180 and 140, you should come up with 320. And if you add 90 to that, that's going to be 410. Okay, so 410 represents what unit? Inches, yes. 180, 140, and 90. Did anybody get something other than 410? Everybody has 410? All right. Now, 410 inches. If I told somebody something was 410 inches long, would they have an idea of how long it was visually? Not really. So we need to change inches into what to start with? What can I change inches to? Feet, that's right. If I want to change inches into feet, what should I do to 410? Divide it by 12, so type that in. 410 divided by 12, and it comes out to be 34, and it's a decimal, it's not even. We can use that 34 feet, but we have to figure out how many inches are left over. We know that we can get 34 feet out of 410 inches. Now you need to go backwards. Multiply that 34 we just found by 12. What do you get? 408. What's the difference between 408 and 410? 2 inches. So that's how many inches were left over. So 34 feet, 2 inches. Does the person now have a better idea of what the length is of these boards than they did with just inches? Is there a way that we can give them a better idea of how long they are instead of just feet and inches? Convert it to yards, right. So with 34 feet, how many feet are in 1 yard? 3 feet in a yard. What should I do to 34? Divide by 3. 34 divided by 3 comes out to be 11 and some change. So I know I can get at least 11 yards out of this, but I have stuff left over. Now, to find out how many feet are left over, I'm going to have to multiply that 11 by 3. And what is that? 33. What's the difference between 33 and 34? 1. So I have 1 foot left over, and I still have the 2 inches. So 11 yards, 1 foot, and 2 inches is going to be the final answer. Here's a second example. You have Luke, George, and Janet. They all have boards, and each board is the same length for each person, or within their boards. What do I do first to figure out how many or inches are in Luke's boards altogether? Same problem as the last time. What do I do? Yeah, multiply 7 by 40. So we're going to go up here and do 40 by 7. And what do I do to find what George has? Yeah, 25 times 9. And then what do I do to find what Janet has? 11 times 8. Okay, so work those out. 40 times 7 is what? 280. What's 25 times 9? And 11 times 8? 88. What do we have to do with all of those numbers? Add them all together. Okay, so we're going to add 280, 225, and 88. If you add 280 and 225, you get 505. And if I add 88 to 505, I should get 593. Did anybody else get 593? Everybody got 593? Okay. Well, 593 is what unit? Inches. Now, before, we divided that by 12 to come up with feet. So, we have 593 inches. The last problem, we divided by 12, and we came up with feet and inches. And then we divided by 3 to come up with yards, feet, and inches. Is there a way I can go from inches to yards and eliminate that dividing by 12? How many inches are in a yard? 36 inches in a yard. So we can do that if you want to. Divide 593 by 36. 593 divided by 36 is 16. You get at least 16 yards. Okay, so we have 16 yards, but now we have to figure out what's left over. Okay, so with 16 yards, if I multiply that 16 by 36, I come up with 576 inches. What's the difference between 576 and 593 when you subtract them? 17. So I have 16 yards and 17 inches. Is there something wrong with that?
Yeah.
What's wrong with it?
You need to convert the inches to foot. 5 inches.
Yeah, you have to convert that 17 inches to feet and inches because you have more than 12 inches there. So how many feet can I get out of 17 inches? 1, yeah, because it's 12 inches. So I still have 16 yards, and now I have 1 foot, and I'm taking 12 inches away from that, and I have how many left over? 5. There is your answer. Yes. All right, so we had inches on those problems. We came up with inches, and we did 2 different ways. One was to go to feet and inches, and then to yards, feet, and inches. In this one, you're dividing by 12 and then dividing by 3. The other way that we did it, we divided by 36 first, and whatever was left over, we took 12 out of it, and so on. So you can use either way. It makes no difference to me, as long as you show the work for getting the problem. Get an answer for this. Show your work on notebook paper. Only bring me the final answer, written largely with your name on it. Joyce has 6 boards that are 16 inches each. Ben has 12 that are 30 inches each. And Janet has 7 that are 10 inches each. If all of them are placed end to end, then what is the total length of the boards? Here we go. On the practice problem, you're going to need to do 16 times 6, 12 times 30, and then 7 times 10. For each of those, you should come up with 96, 360, and 70. If you add all of those together, 96 and, well, actually 360 and 70 is easier to do first. That would be 430 plus 96 would be 570, and 360 is going to be 430, and we're going to add 96 to that. So that should get 526. Did anybody get 526 in that part of the problem? All right, so you're still good so far. All right, next up, that represents inches. So if you want to convert that to feet and inches, or yards, feet, and inches, you can do it one of the 2 ways. I'm going to use the first one. I'm dividing 526 by 12. And you'll come up with 43. That's 43 feet. But we have to find out how many inches are left over. 43 times 12 inches is 516. How many inches are left over? 10 inches. All right, to convert to yards, I have to divide that 43 by 3, and it's 14 and some change. And to find out how many feet are left over, I multiply 14 by 3. 3 yards, and I have 42. What's the difference between 42 and 43? 1. So I have 1 foot, and then the 10 inches. 14 yards, 1 foot, 10 inches is the right answer. The answer to this bonus problem is 6. You have to do this first before you add the 3 to it. For this one, you have to do 7 times 4 to get 28, and then 4 times 3 to get 12. When you subtract, the answer is 16. Homework is based on effort. You have to write the problem number, write the problem, show all work that is absolutely necessary. If you skip a bunch of steps, You don't get credit for it, and there are no exceptions. I've had people in the past come up here with the problem number, the problem, and the answer. And they keep standing here thinking that if they stand here longer, I will cave in and give them points. I've had people stand here in front of me for an entire period wanting me to give them 50 points for homework, and I don't do it. Eventually, their legs get tired and they go away. So, and they stay after class and argue. There's no arguing. You either do it or you don't. It's worth 50 points. The answers, if you get them right, are 1 point extra for each one you get right. So you can't fail homework. If you show the effort and you get every problem with the wrong answer, you're still going to get your 50 points if you showed everything. But if you get them all right, you get extra points on top of that. Here is the homework. Now, needless to say, it's kind of a lot to copy down right now. So that's why I have a paper copy for those without the internet. And if you have a phone, you can get it out now. You can walk up here and snap a picture of it if you want to. You can take multiple pictures of the top, the middle, the bottom, whatever you want to do. So you can zoom in on it later and look at it. Or you can just wait until you go home and get it off the internet from the website. It's your choice, whichever one you want to do.